This is the Committee on Revenue and Taxation. We have a heavy calendar today. We're in sign-in order. Our first author is here. We'll begin as a subcommittee. Mr. Gatto, file item 11, AB 2490.
Good afternoon, members of the committee. I'm here to present Assembly Bill 2490. Now, all of us who have purchased mutual funds, we tend to shop around. You like when you are researching somebody on Yahoo Finance or Google Finance or maybe with your broker, and you find out that a mutual fund has a smaller expense ratio than another mutual fund. You are particularly happy when that mutual fund's expense ratio is less than 1%. It's quite rare to find a no-load mutual fund with an expense ratio less than 1%. There's an awful lot of them that are consistently and considerably higher than that 1%. Well, there's a number of mutual funds, 3 to be exact, the largest one being the Vanguard family, that has very, very small expense ratios. Vanguard's case, it's 0.16% across their family. And of course, over 30 or 40 years as a saver, as an investor, you're going to save compounded thousands, if not millions of dollars based on that difference in percentage that the mutual fund takes. Now, we had this really weird thing happen in recent times, which was somebody sued in federal court as a whistleblower, claiming that these mutual funds that were organized this way violated the law because all mutual funds have a parent and a child or a subsidiary company model. And this whistleblower sued for $35 billion, and this whistleblower stood to gain $10 billion himself under a very novel theory, which is that these mutual funds did not charge savers enough, and that they were charging them somehow it was a violation of tax laws because these mutual funds were not charging investors enough money between the different funds, the parent and subsidiary relationships.
I would note that this item is a candidate for suspense. Mr. Gatto, do we have pardon me a moment, do we have a quorum? I think so, Mr. Patterson, right?
I don't believe this is a candidate for suspense. I believe this is being voted on.
No, it's a candidate for suspense, so it's going to the suspense file. Secretary, hold on a second. Secretary, call the roll, please.
Come on, what's going on?
Ridley Thomas.
Present.
Breaux.
Here.
Dababneh. Gibson. Mullen. O'Donnell. Patterson. Quirk.
Here.
Wagner. We got a quorum.
Did you want to conclude your introduction before we call witnesses, Mr.
Sure. So the at any rate, this whistleblower sued in federal court. There have been copycat whistleblowers in state courts. There was one in Texas who sued, and California has similar whistleblower or qui tam laws on the books that allow people to make these claims. This bill would simply clarify the law in such a way that blesses this form of structuring a mutual fund, which passes on the benefits to the investors. The mutual funds that it affects, the 3 mutual funds that it affects, are in effect owned by their investors, and it's a good bill, and we thought it was up for a vote today, so we would respect it.
Our suspense hearing is after the regularly scheduled hearing.
Okay, so we ask for your aye vote when the time comes today.
Thank you. Witnesses in support, witnesses in opposition. Questions of the committee? Mr. Quirk? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
Good afternoon. Danielle Kando-Kaiser on behalf of the California Tax Reform Association. We are withdrawing our opposition to the measure as listed in the analysis. After conversations with the author's office and this committee, we agree with and support its intent, and we look forward to working with the author's office to address implementation concerns expressed by the FTB. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Quirk, you had a question?
Just wanted to say it's a great bill, and I look forward to voting aye if the chair sees his way to taking it off suspense.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments? You may close, Mr. Gatto.
I ask for aye vote.
Thank you so much. The next author we have up is Mr. True. I move that item without objections to suspense. Mr. True, you have 3 items. Take them up at your pleasure. File item 25, item 25, and file item 26.
Thank you. I will take them up in numerical order, so I'll take up AB 2817, the low-income housing tax credit. And colleagues, I appreciate your consideration of this bill to address our affordability crisis that is gripping our state with the highest rents, home prices, percentage of homelessness in the nation, and the highest poverty rate in the country when our housing costs are included. I think, colleagues, we all know that we've lost about $1.7 billion a year for funding through the dissolution of redevelopment. With one change, this bill is a reintroduction of our AB 35 affordable housing tax credit from last year. I want to thank the unanimous support, bipartisan support of this committee, along with the support of 118 members of this legislature. Our bill would increase the affordable housing tax credit by $300 million, which would leverage over $5 to $1 of federal, local, and private sector funding. The only difference between this bill and last year's bill was a $25 million increase to the set-aside for farm worker housing under the tax credit. Now, despite the support of 118 members of the legislature, our governor vetoed last year's bill, and the veto message directed me to work through the budget process to implement the increase. So we've introduced the bill in policy committee so that the policy discussion can happen here while we pursue a budget allocation on a parallel track. With that, I respectfully ask for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Chu. Witnesses in support? Given that this bill has been introduced before, feel free to be brief.
Marina White with the California Housing Consortium. We were co-sponsors of last year's piece of legislation. Very important bill. We hope that it moves forward as part of the budget process, if not through the regular process.
Thank you.
Dan Keurig on behalf of the League of California Cities in support.
Thank you.
Tyrone Buckley on behalf of Housing California, co-sponsor, also in strong support.
Thank you so much.
I'm also filling in for my colleague with the California Building Industry Association in support.
Thank you so much.
Keith Dunn with the California Apartment Association in support.
Brian Augusta with the California Rural Legal Assistance Foundation in support.
Jith Meganathan, Western Center on Law and Poverty in support.
David Jones on behalf of the cities of Burbank, Glendale, Sacramento, and Santa Rosa in support.
Thank you. Any additional witnesses in support?
Michael Radigan on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, Santa Clara County in support.
Thank you, sir. Witnesses in opposition? Questions of the committee? This is a suspense item. You may close.
Respectfully ask for your vote.
All righty, file item 25. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I do that, without objection, we're going to move that to suspense. File item 25, AB 2817. This is also a suspense candidate. Go ahead.
Okay, moving to file item or to AB 2818. This is one of a number of bills that I've introduced to address our affordability crisis. This bill addresses the challenges that have been impeding the creation of affordable housing through community land trusts and limited equity cooperatives around the state. Let me state at the outset that I accept the committee's technical amendments included in the analysis. The analysis also lays out a few issues without specific amendments that suggested to be clarified in the bill, including the affordability restrictions required for a CLT and limited equity housing cooperative to qualify under this bill. And I just want to say I'm committed to working with the sponsors and the assessors to make this system work for all.
Go ahead.
The goal of this bill is to create a consistent method of valuing community land trust homes and limited equity housing cooperatives to encourage their production. CLTs and these cooperatives are nonprofit organizations created to develop housing that is affordable. A nonprofit purchases the land or the building and restricts the use of the land for affordable housing through a 99-year ground lease. Any units developed on the property are sold or rented to low or moderate income families. The homeowner agrees to sell the home at a restricted price, and thus the homeowner is able to capture equity while the housing is provided at an affordable price to the next buyer. In some parts of the state, assessors value a CLT home at the full market value, which doesn't take into consideration the nature of the ownership structure. This can create a significant burden on low-income homeowners or shareholders. Last year, we passed through the legislature AB 1668 that created a process for assessors to determine the assessed value of Habitat for Humanity homes. In a similar fashion, this bill creates a uniform process for assessors to value a home in a CLT or a limited equity housing cooperative to take into consideration the resale restrictions. This bill also allows the CLTs or the housing cooperative to qualify for a welfare exemption if they record an affordability restriction for purchase and develop it within 5 years. With that, I have a number of witnesses in support.
Thank you. Witnesses, succinctly, please. Thank you.
My name's Marianne Guido. I'm with the Irvine Community Land Trust. I'm a former city councilwoman and a current planning commissioner and interested in affordable housing. We have over 20 community land trusts in California, which we will be representing today. The community land trust model creates permanently affordable housing using the ground lease that has resale controls to keep the houses affordable for future homebuyers. What distinguishes the Community Land Trust from other affordable housing programs is this dual ownership and permanent affordability requirement. Community Land Trusts retain ownership of the land, and an income-qualified working family owns the home subject to resale control. So the Community Land Trust home buyers are only able to sell their homes at affordable prices, and we think should be taxed on their resale controls. And this is what the Community Land Trust and our home buyers need through this legislation, the support of AB 2818, which grants a property tax exemption for affordable housing and creates an equitable taxation process for home buyers of permanently and perpetually affordable homes. Thank you very much. We ask your support.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Additional witnesses?
Yes, thank you. Tracy Parent, the director of the San Francisco Community Land Trust and member of the California Land Trust Network. We are only able to create affordable home ownership in San Francisco's extremely expensive market because of the support of our local county tax assessor and recognizing the importance of this form of exemption on the property value based on the actual transfer price, not the market value price. It's a very important piece of this multiple subsidies we put together to make affordable housing in San Francisco. And because we've been able to implement this in San Francisco, we would really like to see this methodology applied equally and uniformly across California to support other communities and other community land trusts. So to give you a quick example, when we buy an apartment building for $1 million, and then we convert it and transfer ownership for $100,000 to the 10 families who live in that building, we are only assessed property tax on that $100,000, while the rest of the value is buried in the ground through the ground lease with the land trust, which is permanently affordable, never to be resold again.
Thank you very much. Additional witnesses?
Bruce Wolf, California CLT Network and SFCLT support.
Thank you.
Marina White with the California Housing Consortium in support.
Tyrone Buckley, Housing California in support.
Eric Goldmixon, teacher and West Marin CLT homeowner, currently being taxed 50% more than the defined by the deed restriction, in support.
Thank you.
Nicole Wertelman on behalf of Habitat for Humanity California in support.
Susan Scott from the Community Land Trust Association of West Marin, called CLAM, very much in support.
Araceli Alvarado, board member of Trust South LA and resident of South Central, in support.
Thank you.
Sheila Nim, Trust South LA, in support.
Steve King, Oakland Community Land Trust, in support. Thank you.
Ariane Dar, Bolinas Community Land Trust, in support.
Mark Asturias, Irvine Community Land Trust, in support.
Thank you very much. Additional witnesses in support, witnesses in opposition. Questions of the committee? This is a suspense candidate, as was mentioned earlier. Mr. Chu, would you like to close?
Respectfully ask for your vote.
Without objection, we'll be moving this file item, AB 2817, to suspense. The next item is file item 26, AB 2818.
Should be AB 2675.
75?
2675.
Yeah, he's 2675. That's right. Yeah.
Mr. Chair, colleagues.
Thank you. Go ahead.
This bill would incentivize the installation of infrastructure for electric vehicle charging stations by helping to defray the cost of installations through a tax credit for multi-unit dwellings. We all know that California suffers from some of the worst air quality in the country, being driven by vehicle emissions. We know that encouraging zero-emission vehicles is critical to improving our air quality, but our state has yet to lay down the infrastructure that we need to support this growing market and to address range anxiety on the behalf of potential California consumers. We have a goal as a state of reaching 1.5 million zero-emission vehicles by the year 2025, but we're not going to get there if we don't move forward with the infrastructure around this. At this time, we know that the electric vehicle chargings in multi-unit dwellings still face significant market barriers, making up 40% of where our California residents live. This bill takes a fiscally prudent approach by focusing a tax credit to multi-unit dwellings, such as apartment complexes, duplexes, and mobile homes. As EVs become more affordable and as the used EV market expands, this bill would support the expansion of infrastructure in the communities of greatest need.
Thank you very much. I would know that this is a suspense candidate. Your testimony can be very succinct.
Damon Conklin with Electric Vehicle Charging Association. We believe that AB 2675 builds on the state's low-carbon transportation investments by providing us credit for the state's portion of the sales and use tax for purchase of EVs, and will help incentivize to increase EV infrastructure in this critical area.
Thank you. Additional witnesses?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Keith Dunn here on behalf of the California Apartment Association. We believe that this legislation will help encourage our apartment owners to install these charging stations as we go more and more to EV vehicles throughout our state. We're looking to encourage the installation to encourage the driving habits that we're hoping to see and change. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Additional witnesses in support?
Mr. Chairman, members, John Caldwell on behalf of the California Electric Transportation Coalition. We urge support of the bill.
Thank you. Additional witnesses?
Ann Smart with ChargePoint in support of the bill.
Thank you.
Mike Monaghan on behalf of the California State Association of Electrical Workers in support.
Thank you.
Mia Yamauchi on behalf of Eva Tran, Plugless Power in support.
Desmond Wheatley with Envision Solar Fund, a member of EVCA, very much in support.
Thank you very much. Any additional witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition?
Good afternoon. Danielle Kando-Kaiser on behalf of the California Tax Reform Association. We remain opposed unless amended on this bill. We look forward to working with the author.
Thank you so much. Questions of the committee? As noted, this is a suspense candidate. Would you like to close?
Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Without objection, AB 2675 will move to suspense.
Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you. Mr. Harper is here. I don't see Mr. Gomez. He was next, but Mr. Harper, why don't you come and present? This is file item 12, colleagues.
19.
Oh, I'm sorry, file item 19. Thank you, Ms. Allen. And this is a suspense candidate.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members. I'm here today to present Assembly Bill 2673, which would exempt state grant recipients from being charged sales tax on grant money used to purchase the materials and equipment to build hydrogen refueling stations. This bill would also create tax credits for those recipients who have already paid taxes on the same equipment. AB 2673 has received support from Democrats and Republicans, automobile manufacturers, California air districts, and environmental organizations. California has some of the worst air quality in the nation. The state is a strong proponent of zero-emission vehicles and leads the country in fuel efficiency standards for cars. Previous efforts to support renewable fuels include AB 118, which established a $100 million annual grants program. In addition, Governor Brown signed an executive order calling for 1.5 million zero-emission vehicles in California by 2025. Fuel cell electric vehicles powered with hydrogen fuel are now being introduced in mass volumes by major automakers. These vehicles are fueled by hydrogen gas and emit no pollutants, only water and heat. When companies use grant money to purchase or lease equipment to operate their hydrogen refueling stations, they pay between 7.5 and 10% back to the state of California in sales taxes. This is really just money recirculating back to the state of California. AB 2673 will ensure that this money is actually being used to build more hydrogen refueling stations. This will encourage the use of more zero-emissions vehicles. This will help to generate more tax revenue via sales taxes from hydrogen fuel cells and help car dealers sell more fuel cell electric vehicles. After thoughtful consideration, I've decided to take in all but one of the committee amendments, the one that would shorten the sunset date. AB 8 provides for the CEC to expend the grant funds until 2031, which justifies giving just tax exemption until the money runs out. I respectfully ask for your aye vote, Mr. Chairman and members.
Yes, thank you. Witnesses in support?
Yes, thank you. My name is Dr. Shane Stevens. I'm one of the founders of First Element Fuel, the company sponsoring this bill. We're the largest developer of hydrogen fueling stations in California. Our financing comes from Toyota, from Honda, and actually the largest financing comes from the State of California grant program. So California drives the automobile market in the world, and it drives it in a cleaner direction. So we see this as part of the zero-emission vehicle policy that has brought California to the forefront, leading the clean vehicle charge. As part of that, we have a limited pot of money to build hydrogen fueling stations, which are needed for the rollout of fuel cell vehicles. Those vehicles are coming onto market starting this year by companies like Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, Mercedes-Benz, and General Motors. So what we ask is, by exempting these grant funds from taxes, that this pot of money go as far as it can to build out more hydrogen stations. We think this is the most efficient and effective way to achieve the state's policies. While we recognize that there is a short-term fiscal impact to the state, we ask that everybody consider the longer-term fiscal benefits that could come. We estimate that from this pot of money, if it's tax exempt, we'd get an additional 10 to 20 hydrogen stations built out of that. So that's property taxes at the local and state level. That would lead to additional taxes on the fuel that would be sold out of those hydrogen stations. So we believe that this could generate a long-term fiscal benefit. So we appreciate being partners with the state, and we just want to see this policy go as far as it's meant to go. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members of the committee, and committee staff.
Wonderful. Thank you for your testimony. Additional witnesses in support?
Delilah Clay on behalf of Toyota in support.
Thank you.
Audra Hartman on behalf of Lindy North America in support.
Thank you.
Ivan Altemer on behalf of Global Automakers in support.
Thank you.
Tom Addison on behalf of the Bay Area Air Quality Management District staff in support.
Thank you.
Silvio Ferrari on behalf of Air Liquide in support.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in support? Any witnesses in opposition?
Just briefly, good afternoon again. Danielle Kando-Kaiser on behalf of California Tax Reform Association. We remain opposed unless amended on this bill. The general fund has never paid for these, and it has usually been left over to ratepayers and cap and trade revenues to generally pay for this. We look forward to working with the author.
Thank you. Any additional witnesses in opposition?
Good afternoon. Betsy Hammer with CSAC. We're respectfully opposed, but look forward to continue working on the bill.
Thank you. Questions of the committee? Mr. Harper, this is a suspense candidate. You may close if you'd like.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I just asked for your consideration passing this bill. I believe it will help make hydrogen a competitive zero-emissions fuel and allow for the choices to be made on the market by Californians in terms of making our way towards less pollutants in our air. So thank you very much for your consideration, Mr. Chairman.
With that, without objection, AB 2673 will go to the suspense file. It's so ordered. Thank you. Mr. Hernandez. I think I was going to take Mr. Hernandez first. Okay, Mr. Gomez, come on. You are presenting file item 12, AB 2518, which is a candidate for the suspense file.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Today I'm presenting Assembly Bill 2518, which is going to go on to the suspense file. It is a bill that will establish a partial sale and use tax exemption for building and construction supplies purchased for use by a nonprofit corporation. We all know that we have about a $1.7 million shortage when it comes to housing and affordable housing in particular. Even an LAO report has suggested that if we try to buy our way out of it through the state, that it's going to be virtually impossible. It would take an investment of about $250 billion to do that. So it would take a multi-year billion-dollar investment to even make a dent. But what I'm trying to do is just make it easier for nonprofit corporations like Habitat for Humanity who actually build homes at an affordable price, sell them to the low-income household, low-income individuals, that their homes are a little bit less expensive, and hopefully this will add to building a few more affordable homes. It's small in nature, but I think every step, every bill will add to the housing stock. So I ask that you give it due consideration, and hopefully it comes off of suspense.
Understood. Witnesses in support?
Nicole Wittleman on behalf of Habitat for Humanity California. We agree that this is a modest measure, but that it could go a long way in helping Habitat to build additional low-income housing for people that really put in sweat equity and spend a lot of time working toward making their homes affordable and keeping their families.
Thank you. Additional witnesses?
Michelle Peels, Tucker State Board of Equalization. The board is also in support, although we're not reflected in the analysis. I believe we sent a letter on 417.
Thank you. Any additional witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? Questions of the committee? Would you like to close?
I ask for your aye vote if it comes off of suspense.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Without objection, AB 2518 will be moved to suspense. Mr. Hernandez, file item 7, AB 2140. This is a candidate for suspense, I would know. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair and members, AB 2140 brings necessary policy design changes to the existing farm worker housing tax credit program at the State Treasurer's Office. Over the years, legislative changes have been made to improve the broader low-income housing tax credit program. However, the Farm Worker Housing Assistance Tax Credit Program has not benefited from those policy changes. There is a need to bring parity to this program to better achieve the legislative goals of using tax credits as a financial tool to create farm worker housing. AB 2140 makes the following changes to the Farm Worker Housing Assistance Tax Credit Program. 1, it changes the occupancy requirement from 100% to 50%. 2, it allows a farm worker housing tax credit project to receive the 130% boost consistent with other existing tax credit rules. And 3, it increases the value of the farm worker state tax credit to better utilize the state's private activity bond authority and the 4% federal tax credit, thus enhancing its viability as a financial instrument for developing farm worker housing. The underinvestment in farm worker housing has created hardships for this workforce and their families. As the damage of the drought continues to impact California and the economic recovery of the state continues to be uneven, I believe investments in housing are a critical tool to address poverty in our state on a statewide approach. A substantial infusion of funding paired with policy reforms is definitely needed. The changes in AB 2140 renew the promise made to farm workers by the legislature under the Farm Worker Housing Assistance Tax Credit Program over the last 20 years. Here with me to speak in support of AB 2140 is Mr. Brian Augusta on behalf of the California Coalition for Rural Housing and California Rural Legal Assistance Foundation, and also Mr. Matthew Allen with Western Growers.
Thank you very much. Witnesses in support?
Good afternoon, Chair and members. Brian Augusta on behalf of California Coalition for Rural Housing and the CRLA Foundation. We are very supportive of this measure, which, as the author just described, will help ensure that we get better utilization of state farm worker housing tax credits, which will allow us to leverage federal tax credits and private investment to help meet the needs of farm worker families throughout California. the rule changes here will make it more attractive, and we'll see greater uptake. We heard earlier a bill to expand the state tax credit, which we're also very supportive of, and those two measures combined will help produce more affordable housing, including housing in rural areas for farm workers, and we would, for that reason, urge an aye vote.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members. Matthew Allen, representing Western Growers Association. We're also very pleased to support the bill today, AB 2140. We represent growers who produce 50% of our nation's fresh fruits and vegetables, about a third of our fresh organic produce nationwide, and about 99% of our tree nuts. The changes that are proposed in this bill will add additional flexibility and feasibility for implementing additional farm worker housing in the state of California, which is vitally needed. It's an ongoing issue for our industry. That's a reason why we are in strong support of the bill today. I would also say, sort of as a caveat, that we also encourage additional conversation about reducing barriers at the local level to increase farm worker housing at the local level for our growers.
Thank you very much. Additional witnesses?
Marina Wine with the California Housing Consortium in support.
Thank you.
Tyrone Buckley, Housing California, also in support.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in support. Witnesses in opposition. Question to the committee. Thank you to the author. You know this is a candidate for suspense. Colleagues, for the committee's edification, there's $4.5 million in unallocated tax credit. It's not actually cash, but it's tax credit authority sitting in an account that we could be using, the state of California could be using much more effectively to affect the low-income housing needs of this population. The author and I have been in dialogue, and with his consent to get this off suspense, we are going to add legislative intent language. Not going to change the substance of the bill. That says it is the intent of the legislature to move $4.5 million in accumulated credits to the Joe Cerna Farm Worker Program. That is a program which has been in existence for some time, but has not been funded by the general fund since 2008, I believe. It's a part of a number of budget asks, the housing budget ask, and I think the Latino caucus budget ask. But we're going to see as this bill moves forward if we can attempt to use AB 2140 with the author's consent as a part of that vehicle. But we're not going to modify the substance of the bill. We're simply going to add intent language so that the author, myself, and stakeholders can work in tandem to get these critically needed housing opportunities to farm workers. So that was just for the edification of the committee. Mr. Hernandez, you may close.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and those that are here in support. And I look forward and working closely with you and encouraging our appropriations chair to help us get across that finish line.
Indeed. Right. Without objection, AB 2140 will be moved to suspense.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Steinnorth, file item 1, AB 1736.